Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Nutz at Night, episode number 64. I'm Steve Cherubino of Podnutz, and joining me is our co-host, Steve D'Amico from... What's your website these days, Steve?
I have two of them. Actually, I have a few of them. Crappycrapcrap.com and stevendemico.com, which is my blog.
Cool. Tell what's crappycrapcrap.com about?
It's about crap. It literally is. For all the guys that have heard about World, I'll talk about what's been going on with Crappy Crap Crap. Anyway, we at Crappy Crap Crap we review websites, or well, not websites, specifically products or services or something that's been reviewed online and has the absolute worst reviews possible, and funny reviews. And the funniest reviews will be copy pasted directly to the site. I mean, real technical difficulty in that, you know. And so far, I've had quite a few. I've had quite a few responses to it, and a few of them are people. They think that I'm writing the reviews. Some people think that this site is a review site for. I don't know what it is, but some people, they don't fully understand what it is. But the Podnutz listeners understand it. And yes, I know my banner isn't, or header isn't the most prettiest header or banner, but what do you get? That's the kind of work I do.
Hey, no, man. It's the content that matters. Who cares about the crappy banner? Who doesn't understand this? What's there not to understand?
Well, I guess some people think that it's a review site or something. I don't understand, or I don't know. They don't realize what I'm trying to do with the site. So I don't know. I need more places. I need more things. I need more hotels. I need more products.
Has anybody sent you anything yet to post?
I think somebody did send me one thing, and I haven't gotten to it just yet.
All right, well,
but I gotta see more.
We're gonna see that site blossom. I think it's a great idea. It's just fun. It's just fun hearing about horrible products that are out there. So
yeah, there's nothing better. And what's surprising is that the reviews for horrible products are very funny because people are passionate about stuff that stinks.
Yeah. There was actually I swore I read a review. I think I was talking to you about it. It'll pop into my mind later. Something that was just horrible, and it had horrible reviews I was reading online. It was definitely a candidate for Crappy Crap Crap. But let me just say what the show's about here. If anybody has first time listening to Nutz at Night, we just talk. This is like the laid back version of Podnutz. It's at night. It's like 11 o'clock. You know, I want to sit back in my chair and relax and just talk about stuff that's just kind of fun. And, you know, if you come to the show and say, I want to hear about tech. Okay, listen to some of the other shows we do. This is tech plus other fun stuff that we think is fun and interesting. So why don't I start off, man? I had a bit of an experience this past week, and I really think that my opinion, and I am cyclic on this. I mean, you guys, if you've followed Podnutz through the years, you know how I am about this. I'm turning to the opinion that I'm not as much of a Mac fanboy as I used to. Like, not by a long shot, not by a huge shot. And it was all because I tried to put the Podnutz laptop repair videos on DVD this last 2 weeks, and the Mac just gave me a hell of a time. It was just a nightmare. And I won't go through the whole thing again, but just in a nutshell, what I could do in about 2 hours on a PC of the same speed, it took me 9 hours on a Mac. To get these videos on a DVD, the Mac just had to like crunch through all this encoding, and then once it was done, it had to do more, and then it had to do more, and then I used iDVD, and the menus were just crazy, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me, so it wasn't practical. Now, a hardcore Mac user would say, look, you should have bought Final Cut Pro and just ran DVD Studio Pro or whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't want to spend $1,000. For $40 buying a Sony product, Sony DVD Architect or whatever it's called, it did the job for me, so there we go, and I was happy with that. But so before, when I'm like in the Mac store, I'm going, man, I want to get this i7 Mac. I want to get the new iMac or like the Mac Pro, and I'm looking at this stuff and somewhat considering it. Now I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to take my Hackintosh and convert it back to its native PC state, because Windows has Windows 64-bit edition. It runs, it could use all the memory I have in the machine, and it just runs faster. compared to the Mac. So if it's about performance, I got to go with the PC on this one. If it's about ease of use with the programs and the art programs and the Mac and the GarageBand and stuff and the ease of use, it's still Mac. But as far as performance, I got to go PC. What do you think, man?
Well, I'm an uneducated. I have an uneducated opinion about this because I don't touch Macs. I think it's pretty fascinating that you actually don't like the Mac.
It just happened. Yeah.
Video editing, nonetheless.
I know. It just happened these past 2 weeks. And if it wasn't for all the problems I had on the Mac, I wouldn't feel like this. But it really made my head turn because I did extensive software searching into finding the best program that's going to fit my DVD needs. And PC won all the way. There was even some Linux programs that were good. And the speed, not even a comparison. I'm running an i7 Hackintosh and an i7 PC. And what the i7 Hackintosh was taking 9 hours, the PC was doing in 2. So hands down winner right there. And I'm all about... See, if I ever want to add any more videos to the DVD collection, with the Mac, I'd have to re-render for 9 hours. With the PC, I could just slap it in and it will take another hour. So it's really working out more efficiently for me to use the PC. And now I'm looking at all this PC software and stuff. I might buy Sony Vegas to do my video editing instead of Final Cut. I'm surprised. I'm bringing it up because I'm surprised in myself. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the speed of a i7 PC. Thought that was a bit interesting.
It's just speed, though?
Yeah. I do have to say I like Sony Vegas and the DVD Architect program. They're not polished and shiny like the Mac programs, but they actually are pretty intuitive. They actually are. If you look at a screenshot, you know I'm all about screenshots. If you look at a screenshot of like Final Cut and then look at like Sony Vegas, Vegas looks like Windows 98-ish, you know? And, Final Cut looks smooth and shiny, and I always used to like that. But now I'm just like all about the functionality, and I like the way the Vegas is acting for me. So, yeah, it's about that too. Functionality.
Damn.
I'm not going to buy a ThinkPad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going going crazy here. But I am happy with the PC stuff. So it's all about the speed. Got to be done fast.
Yeah, speed matters. I mean, you don't want to sit around and wait, especially in this day and age. Nobody has patience for anything.
Yeah, big time.
Imagine how awful you feel when you leave your phone at home. Doesn't matter how late you are, you turn it around.
Oh yeah, nowadays, especially with the smartphones, it's not even a question. I mean, it's definitely an extension of my arm, my phone.
This is such my life. I mean, I'd feel like it would be like leaving the house without shoes on.
Yeah. You know what? And watch people in bars and stuff now. It's like every 2 minutes looking down at the phone. Maybe every 1 minute looking down at the phone. It's interesting.
That does kind of stink. But I don't know. It is kind of cool though. It is a great conversation piece. I mean, people, now that you have your phone with you at all times, I mean, yeah, you always have the camera and you always have pictures of family and vacations and things like that. So there can be kind of a conversation starter as much as a complete conversation killer.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, nothing's worse than when hanging around somebody who's on the phone with you and you're in public.
That's pretty bad.
Those people stink.
The only good thing about the people keep looking at their phones and stuff is that they're being social. I mean, they're looking at the phone because somebody's trying to communicate with them. I'm all about communication. The more communication, the better. Like in any situation, more communication, better. That always solves everything. So at least these people are communicating on their phone. They're not looking down and playing games most of the time. They're like looking at what their Facebook update status is. And even though I don't use Facebook, I still think it's good. It makes people more social. They're doing it through a device, but at least they're being social about it.
Yeah. I wonder, like, because technology is so there's so much social technology out there, like Facebook and instant text messaging back and forth and everything. People say that we're less social because we're not talking to each other in public, but are we more social because we're talking to each other in public, just not who's standing in front of us?
Right, we're talking more. I think people are talking more, right? I think so.
I guess so. Definitely communication is hot. Definitely bigger, more communicating more. That has to be. I mean, how could we not be communicating more with all this technology around us?
Right, right. And I think it's good. I think it's good. I think that's good for the environment.
That's what stinks about older people, that they just see they're very cynical about technology because they don't fully get it. You know, like my mom used to be pretty cynical about the text messaging thing until she was introduced into it enough where she finally actually started utilizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she finally, started using it, that's all she would do.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I have a baby who happens to be 3 months, yay, I take picture text messages, and I send her picture text messages every like about week or 3 or 4 days or something like that. I'll just take a good one and then I'll send it off to her. And my phone has a camera that's, I think, just as good as my regular camera.
Right.
So I'll send her a text message and she gets thrilled, like, throughout her day. Occasionally.
I know. I got my mom started on texting, and immediately she started using all the shortened characters, like "How are you?" In the letter U, or "Where are you going for dinner?" Number 4. Like, she uses them, and I don't even use that stuff. So she really picked it up good. Yeah, I think it's cool. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I forget.
But old people being cynical about technology.
Oh yeah, cynical. I mean, it's not funny anymore where people say, "Why would I want to join Twitter? I don't care when you ate a peanut butter sandwich." Like, that was funny 2 years ago, like being cynical about Twitter. But now it's just like, it's a communication tool. Like, you sound stupid when you're cynical about it now. You know what I mean?
I think definitely. But I think people were like so enamored by it. They were like, "Oh my God, I can actually tweet this." Or I could tweet or Facebook the fact that I'm eating a ham sandwich.
Right.
I mean, nobody really cares about your ham sandwich. We want to hear if you're eating at a really nice restaurant, something looks really good.
Yeah.
Occasionally that's okay, but like the daily I'm eating this today kind of thing is kind of silly. I'd like to see, what I'd like to see is this. Nobody's done this yet. I'd like to see somebody create or do something like this. I'm going on a diet. I will, if it enters my mouth, I'm going to take a picture of it.
All right.
If you have to make public everything you're eating, I wonder if you would change your mind about what your choices.
I'm gonna do that, man. I think that's a great idea. You guys in the chat think I should do that? I think I will.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll do an experiment. We'll see how much weight I lose. All right, it's a game. It's a game.
It's real simple. Set up a separate Twitter account and like join like YFrog or something like that. Whatever those picture things are, those shortened picture things, and then just take a picture of what you eat and hit
Steve's Fat Belly. Is going to be my Twitter name.
And you can't people can't complain about the blog or the tweet, because that's what that account is for.
Right.
Kind of like Leo's. What was it Leo had a while back? Leo Laporte had the scale.
Yeah.
It kept tweeting his weight.
That's pretty cool. But you know what? Like you said, people were enamored that like they could Twitter that they ate a sandwich, but that died fast because it's not fun if nobody's following you. You know what I mean? And so like people were saying, I ate a ham sandwich, and one guy would be like, cool. Like one follower. So that kind of dropped off. And for like people who are like movie stars, right? I read a book by Gary Vaynerchuk called Crush It. I talked about it a couple shows ago, a couple months ago. And he talked about using Twitter to build your brand and stuff like that. And he said this, and I think it's true. I think you'll think it's true too, Steve. He said, when these people like, that other people look up to, like movie stars and athletes and stuff, when they Twitter that like they're eating a ham sandwich or they just left the gym or stuff like that, he said people do care. He's like, all the cynics say, oh, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. He goes, you know what? People actually do. They actually do. And I believe them. I mean, think about somebody who you want to follow. You want to become like more, you want to know more about them. Like you want to feel like you know them better. When they say like, I just left Burger King or something, maybe not for me. I don't know. But somebody you really look up to, you almost like, oh, that's cool. I wonder what Burger King it was, or I wonder what he had, or something like that. People do want to know that kind of stuff,
I guess, especially if you know the person. I think if you kind of half know the person and they went to, and they just walked out of Subway, you just go, oh, okay. But if I think what is definitely interesting is if it's something that's just a little unusual, or that is kind of like, hey, this is something that we all do often, like if you like a nice restaurant or something, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but I leaned on the side of, I'm just going to Twitter what I think you guys should know, and I'm not going to put any crap in my stream. So if you follow Twitter on our podnutz on Twitter, it's like crap free. It's just like when I release a podcast, you hear about it. When something cool happens on podnutz, you hear about it. I do not tweet about personal like stuff that I don't think is interesting. So maybe. Yeah.
Well, you can have a separate Twitter account. I recommend it, like a personal Twitter account, and anybody that wants to kind of follow you personally can follow that. And then if people want to follow Podnutz, they can follow Podnutz.
Right.
This way, there's nobody that can say, man, these tweets stink. They're all about his, whatever life. You know, I don't care if he ate his ham sandwich, 3 hours ago.
Right.
Well, then don't subscribe to that one and subscribe to the other one.
Right.
But I'll tell you, that's what you're getting to is what the reason why I stopped kind of using. I still use it, but I'm not really crazy about it as much as I initially was. Facebook. I don't know. For me, like Facebook is. I stopped kind of being completely interested in Facebook when, and I guess this is gonna sound narcissistic. This is gonna sound really narcissistic, but it seemed like I'd post some things, and some things were kind of cool, some things were slightly funny, little quirks or things like that. And I seemed to kind of be completely ignored, it seemed. And I was just like on Facebook, and not completely, I shouldn't say completely, or mostly. And I was like, nobody comments or anything, so nobody really gives a crap. So I was kind of like left it. But I later on, when I subscribed I started messing around with Twitter more and playing with Twitter, and people the care level seemed to go up. People actually were a little more interested.
I like your tweets, man. I do. I think you're doing great on Twitter.
Yeah?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah. I actually seriously do. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I try not to tweet unless it's something that at least is slightly interesting.
Yeah.
A little more interesting than, I just got home today. Am I putting my feet up and watching, TV?
Right.
That's nobody. At least I personally feel that that's not tweet worthy.
Right.
That kind of like daily kind of boring, like kind of mulling through your day kind of stuff is kind of.
I agree with you.
But I think what we all do is we all walk past something that's slightly interesting. Like I drove past a sign that said "Oh," and somebody, defaced it with "Oh," and then of course there was "Stop" for the stop sign, and then underneath it says "It," so it says "Oh, stop it." So I thought it was kind of funny, right?
That was awesome.
I tweeted that. Yeah,
I love those tweets. Those are awesome tweets.
Yeah, but everybody goes through their day and sees something kind of like that and kind of goes, and then but they don't share it because how could you, Twitter is kind of cool because it's like Twitter is like all your friends in your passenger seat when you're driving around, and you see something kind of funny and you go, hey man, hey, check that out, and you point your arm and they go, oh yeah, that's pretty funny,
right.
And then you move on.
Yeah.
Well, now you can actually do that with everybody.
That's cool. Yeah, I do like what you're doing on Twitter. Sweet.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know you looked at Twitter at all. I thought you just tweeting with the show and that's it.
No, most of the time I look when I'm ready to post something. I look at the stream.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
What do you have on your list there for today?
Oh, well, I'll tell you one of my favorite things, and this is kind of funny. About 3 or 4 years ago, I started turning the corner on Halloween. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure, there was no really anything that sparked this, but I started really enjoying Halloween all over again. Of course, everybody enjoys Halloween when they're a kid.
I don't.
You don't enjoy Halloween?
I hated it.
Hated it when you were a kid?
I hated dressing up. Did with a passion. And I liked the candy. So I like that factor about it. But go ahead.
No, you know what? You're right. That actually was a problem for me. I hated that part. I had a lot of anxiety about, oh no, now I look stupid.
Yep, me too. I would never put paint on my face. I'd go I played Little League, so I'd go out as a baseball player. I'd just put my uniform on, or I'd be Rocky Balboa or something like that. Always a sports thing. But
what I would do is I just put coloring in my hair, and then I just go out. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
I had a girlfriend who had some of that kind of stuff, and she's like, "Oh, just put this in your hair." I'm like, "All right," and I'm like, "Now what?" And she's like, I don't know. That was good enough. Just leave.
Well, what did people ask you what you were? What did you say?
I said I'm nothing. I said I'm me. That's what I said. I didn't really pretend like I was something different.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm me with coloring in my hair.
That's great. Why did you turn the corner here? What happened?
Well, I don't know. I just, I think it was because, well, I like to go out and, enjoy life and be out there and look at things, and I like to travel a little bit and things like that, and it just kind of I don't know, I like the season change. That's pretty cool. But I like the haunted houses. That was one of my favorite things, and I would like to go out, especially with my wife, and we would go to the haunted houses, and they're pretty wild. Some of them, a lot of them actually. At least the ones that I've been to. I've noticed that it's something I guess kind of discovered it more than really anything, even though it's been around forever. But a lot of the quote unquote haunted houses are really pretty wild and really pretty frightening. I mean, not necessarily for me completely, but definitely for my wife.
Really?
What's better than taking your wife through or a girlfriend and take her through like the haunted house thing or whatever, and of course you have to have her go first. You have to, because she'll be more scared, and watching her either squeak or shriek. What's better than that? And nothing could be more funny to me than watching watching her freaking actually I shouldn't say, but there's been some funny reactions that she has, and I'll just leave it at that, because I'm sure she'll be upset with me if I went further.
How scary are these things? Do you actually get scared?
No, you don't. Well, I don't know if I guess it depends on what you would consider scared. Startled is kind of really more of it. Like and they don't universally. I'd say pretty much universally throughout all of them, there is usually pretty much there's always one rule, and it's that they don't touch you. And if they do, they fell into you somehow, or they didn't completely see you or something, and it was an accident of some kind if they actually do bump into you or touch you. But so that's like the kind of the rule. But more startling than anything. A lot of startling, because they know that everybody's on high guard, so they're not gonna,
right.
So it's hard to scare people, but women are the ones that freaking, I mean, they jump up in the air. I mean, I've seen some, especially if you have younger girls. The younger the girl, the more they shriek and run. Especially like the 16, range, the teenager years. Oh my God, they something pops out of the bushes, and they're 3 feet in the air and are already making a smoke, a little smoke trail.
Yeah, I haven't been to one in a while. I haven't been in a long time. Actually, I don't even remember the last time I was in one. So I got to check one out.
There's all sorts of them out there.
Busch Gardens,
there's some amateur ones.
Busch Gardens has something going on.
Busch Gardens, yeah. Six Flags has them in a lot of their parks. I've been to a few of them. Universal Studios has a huge one. I've been to that twice.
Oh, really?
Disney has a Halloween themed thing they do for Magic Kingdom, where you go in there, they dress the park up, but it's Magic Kingdom's for little kids,
right?
So it's more Halloween themed than any kind of anything else.
Scary.
Yeah, it's not anywhere near
Universal
scary.
Studios is right down the street practically. I could go to that one.
Yeah, Universal Studios doesn't really. They go all out. They really go all out. I would say that it's a little more. That's definitely more adult. They go for the adult crowd. Of course, Disney goes for the kids.
Yeah.
You could take your 5-year-old and he's not going to jump up in the air.
Right.
Go in there. And I've been to that one too. That was really cool. It's really neat to see how quickly they change the park around, and the pricing is so much better for that time of year for when you go. If you get a park admission for that event, the Halloween event, so much better than park admission the other way. Regular park admission. Yeah, there's all sorts. There's even amateur haunted houses. I actually in my area there's some people that are just regular like Halloween complete lunatics. They do their house up, but then they even do like a whole haunted house walkthrough thing in their backyard, and it's really really shockingly elaborate. And it probably took 6 months to complete.
Like they dig graves and stuff like that, right?
Oh, all sorts of things. I mean, they have literally a staff of 15 people, and they have, it takes like a half an hour to walk through the whole thing, and it's some guy's house, and it's pretty wild. The one guy that I know that does it around here, you don't go through his house, but you go through the backyard, and he's got a pretty decent sized backyard, and there's even one point where you're actually walking along his fence. And through his neighbor's fence, so you know where you are. You're like, oh, I'm next to the fence now. That's along the side of the house. he had probably 20 to 30 different full-sized, like I want to say statues, or like a large full-sized like doll of all the different horror movies, like all the horror movie like villains and characters and things. It was really pretty wild.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
And different stages too. Like, so they'll be like, oh, this is Freddy when he was in this movie, and this is like Freddy what he looked like when he was in that movie, it's things like that. It's really,
I mean, that's cool for a movie buff, but I don't know how scary that would be. Were they scary?
Well, no. Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, I guess
he was definitely a horror dude, just like yeah.
Yeah, hard nut, and of course Halloween nut, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's just something to do. And so, there was oh my God, I went through. There was one people, they actually went so crazy. They had to get a permit, and they went out and got the permit, and they got all the ordinances, all the stuff, all in order. It does take them at least 6 months to do theirs, and there's admission, everything. They're always the same characters each year, and that one scared the crap out of my wife. I don't mean real crap like poo. I mean like just she jumped up and tried to run out of the place. It's
really?
Great. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And actually, they never touch you. It's like the it's like the cardinal rule. Rule number 1: never touch him. And this guy was so happy that he scared her that he literally high-fived me.
Really?
Yeah, he ran out. It's like, oh, that was great.
That's awesome. That's what they live for.
Yeah, and I was like, what about the not touching thing? He's like, get the hell out of here.
That's great.
It is. Yeah, that's the best.
Cool. Hey, did you see Social Network?
Yes, I did.
Oh, cool. I liked it, man. I actually thought it was good. See, I didn't know. I didn't read the book, and I didn't know the full story of Facebook. So I must say, I was quite entertained. Like, I thought it was an interesting movie. A lot of tech references. They could have been all crazy and wrong and off the wall, but they were talking about programming and stuff, and he's programming in Perl or whatever the heck he was doing. I thought it was cool. Well, what did you think?
I definitely. It was a great movie. It didn't completely follow reality in total. And
you read the book?
No, I didn't read the book.
But you know the story.
This is from some of the reviews that I was hearing, and some of the reviews were saying that it didn't like some things were just a little skewed, just a little bit, but it followed the story, mostly.
Right.
But there's some kind of, I think they kind of demonized
Sean Parker.
Yeah, and they kind of messed around with characters a little. Yeah, but it was good. It was a great movie.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I didn't take even when I was watching, I'm like, okay, this maybe isn't completely true, especially how this part happened, but I thought it was fun to watch.
It's definitely fun to watch, and it was actually I went in there with high expectations because on Rotten Tomatoes it had a 97%.
Really? That high?
Yeah. Have you seen a higher percentage? I don't know if I have ever seen a higher
Toy
percentage.
Story 3.
Yeah, higher than 97?
Yeah, pretty sure.
What was it, 99 or something?
I think so. Something like that.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't see that review for that, but yeah, you can't really deny. I mean, at least I like Rotten Tomatoes because I could find out whether something is going to be a bomb or it's going to be at least something I'm not going to hate.
Right. Exactly. Put you in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's definitely a ballpark thing because I mean, I don't agree with critics, but I think if you, it's like I don't know, I guess critics really stink like individually, but in the whole they all stink individually, I guess. But when you take them all and you put them in a blender and you put it on a high blend, they get it right.
Yeah. Does Rotten Tomatoes go by critics reviews or user reviews?
I used to only go by user reviews, but with Rotten Tomatoes, it seems to be, for me at least, it seems to be relatively on target for me.
That's cool.
You're not at least going to waste your money.
Right. I look on I don't look on Rotten Tomatoes as much. I should. I look on IMDb a lot and look at the ratings. It's all user reviews, I believe, and it's just such a huge gamut. But they get so many reviews in there that you could get a nice average.
Yeah. You know what's funny is the Rotten Tomatoes seems to consistently put like chick flicks and like love stories and stuff. They always put that at like the bottom 25%. It's always under 30, at least it seems.
Really? No kidding.
Some of them literally hit single digits.
That's awesome.
Which I really think is funny. Which is great because every guy out there, okay, if you got the woman that says, "Oh, we got to see this new movie, starring that actress that that plays all those movies," and you're like, "Oh no, she's gonna want to see this one." Just point out the reviews and say, "Look, honey, Rotten Tomatoes is killing it." But look, Inception. I mean, it's upper 80s. Let's go to that instead.
Good idea. If anybody is listening, like hears bad reviews about The Social Network, ignore them and go see it. Because especially if you're a geeky guy or into tech, you will definitely like it. Even if it doesn't follow the story exactly, and I don't even know if it does. You sound like you know more. It's still a great movie to watch. And I went in with low expectations because that's how I am about Hollywood now. I don't get revved up about anything. I've been let down way too much at the movies to expect anything good. So I was pleasantly surprised with that movie. And the main actor in that movie is great. I think he played. I don't know if Zuckerberg is that, freaking autistic or whatever you want to call him, but
autistic. Yeah, he was a little. He was ultra. He really piled on the geek.
Yeah. But he could be like that. I don't even know, or maybe at that time in his life he was. But he played it. He played the part great. I thought it's fun.
It's not a documentary, but I think that's whatever. I think that's the only part that slightly annoys me. Not completely annoys me, but that's the only thing should be like kind of like a. Everybody should remember that you're watching a movie about stuff that happened. You're not watching a documentary about stuff that happened. Because if you're watching a documentary, you're getting straight facts.
Right, or you should.
Yeah.
It's based on true events.
Yeah, somebody had to write a script.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and reality was a guideline, so there you go. Yeah. But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
All right, what do you got? What else you got?
I'll tell you, just to keep the Halloween theme, one of my new favorite things to take a look at, and it's really pretty cool, is Cinemasker at cinemasker.com.
This is becoming your favorite site, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I've been liking the site for years. Cinemasker, also known as the guy who does the angry the angry Nintendo nerd. Video game nerd. He was originally the angry Nintendo game nerd. He's doing, as you might imagine, the name Cinemassacre. He's a big horror movie buff. He's a big movie buff pretty much in general, and he does make movies occasionally and things like that. And he's doing a whole. He's going crazy, reviewing all sorts of ancient and crazy and bizarro horror movies. I didn't even know existed. I guess I kind of remember that Exorcist 2 existed, but he does a whole review on it, and it's just great. It's really, really a lot of fun to watch because he tears apart these movies, but not in a way where you would like it's on purpose to make you laugh, kind of just like, oh, look how awful this is. Oh, this is awful. It's really kind of
he's an intelligent guy, you could tell.
Yeah, it's kind of an intelligent kind of rip of them, and he is fair. He does point out what is kind of good, even about a movie like The Exorcist 2, which was pretty horrendous in general. Yeah. And they're honest reviews. They're in small bites. I don't think any one of his reviews are over 5 minutes. So everything is in small bites. It's easy to digest. You don't have to sit there and devote half of your life to this.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of this, and he's even reviewing movies from way back. He reviewed on Nosferatu, and a lot of those old silent movies too.
Really?
Yeah, the first Frankenstein movie, which I don't think was released, or they had to find it or something like that. It was really pretty neat. And there was even, if you go back I think last year, he did a whole Nintendo Angry Nintendo game Halloween special, where he did a whole special on all of the Castlevania games.
Really?
Yeah, that was really good because he had a lot of detail on them.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. I did watch a couple of his films, and what was the last one? With the tornado. It was about the board game. Of course, I like board games. Hit that section of his website. That was great. I watched that after we did Nutz at Night that night.
yeah. Board. I think he's called Board James because the guy who does it, his name is James, and he does reviews on old board games. From my childhood.
And sometimes he makes short movies about them, and they're awesome.
Well, that was the Bucket, Mr. Bucket.
Mr. Bucket was good.
Because how could you review Mr. Bucket and take up more than 2 minutes? You know, so he had to do something. So he reviewed it for I think 60 seconds, and then went into this whole like horror kind of thing.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really good, really well done. Yeah.
All right.
I highly recommend everybody check out, if you're going to check out Cinemassacre's reviews, check out Inframan from 1975. It's one of my favorite reviews.
Okay.
It was just such an insane movie. I don't remember the movie. I never saw it.
What's he like, infrared or something?
No, it looks like a ripoff from the Power Rangers.
That's awesome.
You remember the Power Rangers
Sure.
where they're like live action guys like going "Whoa!" and they're just like dancing around and they're doing all this crazy,
I could have made that show in my backyard and it would have had better effects.
And there's like these rubber monsters going "Arr, arr, arr," all the time, and they're just like, and he's punching them, and you can see the rubber moving, bending. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah,
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's really good. You can't play, any of this stuff on the air because it's just full of curse words.
All right. Man, I'm backed up. I actually have not read, I always been meaning to, I have not read any of the emails you guys have been sending me for Nutz at Night. So I want to take this opportunity now, if you're cool with it, Steve. I want to go through, I have like 10 emails here that I just backlogged on.
That'd be great.
All right, so this one's from Michael. He says, I hate dumb people who try to sell things on Craigslist, and they do their best to piss off the potential buyers. Check out this stupid ad out for an Acer One laptop in San Jose, and here's the ad: Acer Aspire laptop, $225, pickup only. It works great. Everything you need to know about it is in the title. So you nerd-ass computer geeks, don't call me with 1,000 questions about the hard drive and other nerdy S word. I don't know, and I don't have time for it. And then he put his phone number. Cash only. And then he said, okay, that's it. So that was a Craigslist ad. That's pretty good. This is from Nick. He says, hey, Steve, I thought you might find this article interesting. Could be something to talk about on Nutz at Night, maybe. Let's see. And this is an article. I'll post it in the chat room. It's from a site called Breitbart. Breitbart. Breitbart.
Breitbart. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Breitbart. Yeah, I never have. I closed down the chat room. Anyway, if you go to breitbart.com, it's Japan develops a touch. That's like a close up on my hand.
I see a hand.
That was wrong. That's like my webcam for the Android show is just pointing at my desk. A Japanese research team said Thursday it developed the world's first 3D television system that allows users to touch, pinch, or poke images floating in front of them. It is the first time you can feel images in the air, said Norio Nakamura, senior scientist with the research team at the National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology. You can have this sense of touch like poking a rubber ball or stretching a sticky rice cake when manipulating images, he told the AFP by telephone. Anyway, you can go on and read the rest of that article if you want. It's in Breitbart. Japan develops touchable 3D technology.
I think that's crap.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't believe it at all. I think it's something the Onion wrote, but wouldn't post it on their site because it wasn't funny enough.
It is not known when the technology will be practical to use, but creators even scan images of technology. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. Maybe. Good point. If it is crap, Nick, you got me. All right, Kevin says, here's a story. Kevin likes to send me Comcast. Oh, this isn't a Comcast story. Here we go. This is from a site called centerdaily.com. Let me actually pull up the chat room so I'm not so I can post this in the chat room if you guys want to read it instead of listening to me. Podnutz or JustinTV/Podnutz. That's where you go to watch the video and get in the chat room. And I'm going there now. And I'm in the chat room. Okay, here's the URL. And there it is. So, it is the site centerdaily.com. The article, if I can't get past a stupid ad, the article is Madisonburg man arrested in boob homicide. 2 concession stand employees in town for the Grange Fair, it's not grunge, it's Grange Fair, provided information that led police to make a 3rd arrest in the year-old homicide of a 29-year-old father, Samuel S. Boob. Friday night, police arrested 24-year-old Kermit Thomas Butts on charges. He witnessed the planning of the shooting and drove the shooter to and from the scene and had kept it a secret for exactly 1 year. The victim's wife, Marinda Boob, and Belafonte... This can't be real.
Wait. What was the guy's name? Kermit what?
Kermit Thomas Butts.
Okay, so Kermit Butts killed Boob.
Yes. I can't believe
Okay.
it. No way.
I'm laughing at a homicide.
I'm not going to keep reading that. You guys you determine if that's true or not. I'm not going to be fooled twice on this show. All right, this is from Paul. He says, Steve, was listening to your recent Nutz at Night episode. You were talking about Hulu, so I wanted to mention a site I consider better. Clicker.com basically keeps a listing of all shows online, whether on YouTube, iTunes, Hulu, and others. You could probably even add your show to this site. Have you ever been there, Steve?
No.
Clicker.com. I'm going there now. Let's check it out. Clicker.com. The Internet Television Guide. Okay, so it's a guide. And if you click on a show, it talks about the show, and then it gives you the links where you could watch it. Watch, like for Modern Family, for example. Watch Modern Family online on iTunes, Hulu, or Amazon. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because sometimes you don't know which you want to watch a show, but you don't know where you can get it. So instead of just like trolling through Netflix and saying, "Oh, it's not here," and going to Amazon, it's not there. I wonder if it's on Hulu, or I wonder if they have the full episodes. This site is like a guide for that. That's pretty cool.
This is really cool.
Clicker.com. All right.
I like this.
Yeah, me too. Good one.
Who suggested this?
This is Paul.
Good job, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Pete says, hey, Steve, my fax machine constantly gets spammed by companies selling cheap ink cartridges. The faxes they send have a lot of black ink on them. Clever scam, huh? Cheers from Pete from Australia.
That's definitely a clever scam. Although I have heard of this. People that used to I had a client who told me this story one time. He kept getting spammed by this person faxing him a bunch of fax spam.
Yeah.
And so he figured out, I guess, the return phone number to their fax machine. And what he did was he took black construction paper, and at Friday at 7 p.m. when he knew they were closed, he made it so the fax machine just repeatedly, constantly sent a complete blank black fax. Just completely killed their ink.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
In revenge.
That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of revenge of spam and stuff like that, I had an idea and I'm going to start implementing it. I get a lot of email from LCD suppliers, and I don't know if it's legit or not. But do you get these? Just being in a computer repair? I must
you
be
in Gmail.
Yeah, they must come through the laptop repair videos or podnutz or something. And a lot of screen suppliers just spam the heck out of me. I guess it's not quite. It's unsolicited, so I consider it spam. Well, instead of deleting them, I'm gonna now answer them and say, yeah, please call me at this number, and I'm just gonna give them the number of another LCD supplier that spammed me.
That reminds me of one of my friends back when I was kids. He he would say, it's a fun prank. And I'm like, what? And he's like, sending pizza to somebody's house. And I go, oh yeah, that's old. And he goes, yeah, I know. That's why I send it to other pizza places.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I call genius.
All right, this is from Steve O. He says, Steve, heard you the other night on Nutz at Night talking to SMD about what to watch on TV. Have you seen the show Pawn Stars? It's about a pawn shop in Vegas. Great show. It's on the History Channel.
It's a fantastic show. He knows exactly what he's talking about. It's great to see. There's always it's on the History Channel.
Yeah.
And it's it's a pawn shop, just like the saying. And people bring in all sorts of bizarre things. I mean, just all sorts of bizarre objects. Some of them are very historical, and they have this crazy past and things, and it's great. And then they bring in an expert, but it's not a constant. It's not always this is one thing after another.
Right.
There's all sorts of other little background stories that are going on in the shop, but it's really interesting to see like the history behind some of these objects, like or even bizarre objects. Like one guy brought in a glass sword. It's a sword, but made of glass instead of metal.
Right.
And so the guy's like, it was really cool to see the interaction.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I made a glass sword, and the guy's like, the pawn guy's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, well, what do you want to do with this? You want to pawn it or sell it? And he's like, I'd like to sell it. So he's like, well, I don't know what to give you for it. I've never seen one before. He's like, it's one of a kind. Yeah. And he's like, I don't want it. He didn't buy it. And it was kind of interesting to see him say, he called it a piece of crap, but he just didn't do it to his face.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he just I wanted to see him do it to his face, but the guy seemed a little crazy, and he did make a sword.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, pretty warped. Yeah. If any technicians out there, pawn shops need computer repair technicians, and I would suggest just for a couple months, go into a pawn shop and working for a couple pawn shops, and because they always get crappy computers and that need to be fixed and set up to be sold. I did it for like a year or two before I was in my shop, and you get to see like in real life the people that come into these pawn shops, and it's an experience. The craziness that goes on, and this was in like bad parts of Philly. It was just nuts, and the guys that work there, they're just one of a kind. They definitely are. So I would suggest at least having that experience at once in your life. Steve-O says, in this episode, a guy brings in a hockey stick signed by the college dream team that beat the Soviet team in the 1980 Olympics. He said his uncle was the bus driver for the team and got them all to sign it. The show before, a guy brought in a bowling ball mortar cannon. He made a bowling ball mortar cannon he made. Rick said he would buy it if he would shoot it for him. The damn thing shot the ball out of the side and over the next hill out into the desert. There's way too much stuff to even do on the show to do the justice in an email.
It's true. It is very true. I saw one of them where this guy wanted to sell them a kite, but it was like an advanced kite where it has two hand controls and stuff, and you really have to know what you're doing.
Right.
You can't just pick this thing up and go do it. You need instructions to really do this right. And so one of the characters, he's a real guy, but he's kind of a bit of a character on the show, Chumley, and he talks about him. They usually have him do all the things that they don't want to do, like fire odd guns from the 1700s or something, and so he's testing this kite out that they're thinking of buying for like, I don't know, it was like $60. It was nothing, right? So they decide that as they're flying it to test it, he wraps it around a telephone pole or some kind of power line or something, and then they had to buy it.
Oh, that sucks.
And then they're looking up at it like, all right, now how do I get that down? And it's like, how much effort is it worth? It's $60.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. These pawn shop guys, they get every penny they can. Yeah, Steve-O did mention Chumley in this email in the last line.
Oh, yeah. That would be an interesting place to work for, because there's there's no routine in that place.
No. And you got to be able, like, you watch these guys that work there. They know how to confront the people that come in. They know how to handle them. It's pretty amazing to watch. All right, Nick says, don't know if you know about this, Steve, but I like to hear what you and Steve D think about Intel's new locked CPU features. It's a good topic for the show anyway. And the URL is sync-blog.com. It's about, Steve, have you heard about these Intel processors?
No, I haven't heard about them, but I do remember an old feature way back where the it would I think it was like a processor serial number or something, and everybody, all the privacy freaks went nuts because when they first when it was an Intel chip, I'm 99% sure it was way back. I mean, this might be 15 years ago. So they put this out and everybody freaked out because everyone's like, oh my God, you're gonna identify a serial number to each computer and it's gonna be problems,
Right.
this and that. So but the Intel quickly came around and said, no, it's there's a switch to turn this serial number off so nobody can see it, and you can't see it web based, right? So then I think it might have been less than a week before somebody created a Java applet that not only turned the switch on but also read it.
That's awesome.
That's how I remember it. I could be wrong. If anybody out there knows the real story on that, and I'm off, right in and we'll hear the real story.
All right. Yeah, we do read emails on this show. I just keep forgetting. Intel will be selling CPUs that have extra features that you can pay to unlock. Do you buy it? Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think this is nothing much different than what they've been doing with Pentiums and Celerons. Celerons are crippled CPUs, except you can't unlock them. It's basically now if you're buying a Celeron that you have the ability to unlock and bring to well, back then it would be bring to a Pentium. Now they're doing it with these core processors. I don't know. It's not as crazy of a story as you would think. I mean, if you read it just offhand, you're like, oh yeah, that's pretty nuts. But if you notice what Intel's been doing the whole time, this is just a more efficient way for them to do it. What do you think about it?
I think it's kind of silly because it sounds like what they're doing is they're putting features behind like I guess a lock that it's an encrypted with an encrypted code. This is what I'm expecting to see, and so I guess you would have to call them and then or call somebody, whoever it might be, pay some money, and then they give you and they use a key generator and then they come up with the great key and then they unlock it. Well, who's to say that people can't figure out key generators?
Right.
You know, I mean that stuff's like routine for a lot of the crackers out there.
I don't know how they unlock it. I guess it is like that.
Yeah, I mean, how else would it be? At least I can't think of anything. And so there's hackers out there going to figure this crap out real quick.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
And what consumer is going to call you up as a repair tech and say, "I need you to unlock my CPU. I want to see some advanced features."
I don't think that. No, I don't think that would happen. But I do think that they would call you up and say, yeah, I need to upgrade my computer, and then the technician would know he has one of those chips and then suggest it. But I don't think the consumers would even know what they're buying. The guy at Best Buy might say you can upgrade this, it's built in or something, and they might figure it out. But I think the computer techs would be more people that are doing it.
I guess. Imagine that as some soccer mom saying that she wants more advanced features for her CPU in her bedroom computer.
It's not. I don't think it's. It would be. Yeah, you're right. I can't argue with that.
It's just never. So if that's not going to happen, then who is this for?
Right.
It's kind of silly. But we'll just put that right up there with McAfee, the purchase of McAfee.
Yeah, exactly. Right, built into the circuitry on the motherboard.
You kind of sometimes when you see like, so you know what I'm right now I'm looking at Intel. I guess I just don't understand. I guess that's what it is. Maybe they're on an advanced plane than I am. But I'm looking at Intel just like I look at the same way that I look at my cat when she chases her tail constantly in a row. Just keeps spinning around and around, and then catches her own tail and then bites it. And then I'm just like, why?
Really? You're looking at Intel that way or McAfee?
Intel.
You are?
Yeah, because I think they're crazy.
Because of that?
Yeah, this is Bizarro stuff, and so is McAfee.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the McAfee thing plus this. Okay, I see them starting to get that way, but I don't see them as crazy as that just yet. I mean, you still go to the store and you want an Intel chip in your computer, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, if it's an all-in-one unit like a laptop or something like that, then I kind of tend to go there. But I really like AMD. I've always bought AMD products, believe it or not.
What do you have in your laptop?
I have an Intel. I didn't really have much of a choice. I wanted this model, and I didn't care what the hell is under the hood.
Yeah, I don't think they put AMDs in ThinkPads, do they? No.
No, but there are Intels and AMDs in the HP the 6 series
Oh, yeah.
and 9 3 series and everything. There's some that are Intel and some that are AMD. And yeah, it's weird. So it's weird. You never know exactly what you're gonna get unless you look.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still even the laptops that are out now. They're still Intel and AMD. All right, this is from Fraser. He says, I heard on the show today you wanted to keep using Xmarks. Lifehacker had a tutorial on how to use Xmarks on your own server. Maybe this is the answer for you. And he did submit a Lifehacker article on how to continue syncing bookmarks with Xmarks on your own server. So if they do go under, at least there's a way now to continue to use your Xmarks.
I still don't understand the Xmarks thing. Why didn't they just sell the business?
Well, sell the business or...
Yeah, it's worth something. No, it's not worth anything. Just throw it in the trash. The whole thing.
Good point. Definitely. Even for like a couple $1,000 if I had to.
Okay, so let's see if I can get this straight. Okay, so they have Xmarks exists. It's what it is, right? So now take what you have, right? And now they're going to go away and they're going to disconnect everybody's service. Okay, why don't they just do that anyway? And then make it a paid service, or make a paywall, or extra features, or they could have done a million things. They're going to say, okay, yeah, your bookmarks are synced, but your passwords are not. You pay $20 a year for syncing your passwords. I mean, they'd be over the top.
They aren't calling it quits yet because there was such, concern about this from people that I don't know if somebody told me or I read it. They put out this thing where if enough people promise to pay like $20 a year or something like that, they're going to keep it going.
Well, count me in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the price
at
least.
I don't know the price exactly. I could be wrong, but that's from Fraser. All right, let's do what do you like and what don't you like, and then that should be it for the show.
Sure.
Want to do that? Okay. What do you want to do first? Like or don't like?
Like.
All right. What do you like?
You know what I like? I like it's something kind of funny. At least I don't know if I'm supposed to like this or not, but I don't know what it is. But I like cheesy themed restaurants. I guess it's not.
Did you like this before? Did you like this before?
No.
This sounds deja vu-ly familiar to me.
No way.
Okay, I must be having deja vu then. Okay.
Maybe.
Go ahead. What
I like cheesy themed, like cheesy restaurants, like
Chi-Chi's or Chili's, I mean?
No, cheesy, like theme restaurants. Like, you're not supposed to like those kind of places, and they wouldn't dare review something like that, like say on the Travel Channel. But I like them, like
what? Like give me an example.
Rainforest Cafe.
I don't know it.
You don't know Rainforest Cafe? There's a few of them out there, especially at Disney. There's like 2 of them at Disney, and they're spotted here and there. They were actually in a mall.
I guess I'm tracking with you now. It's just like you go in, it's like you're in a rainforest.
It's pretty crazy. You walk in and everything is just, done to the nines. You walk in there and it's just like huge giant fish tanks, and the place is massive and it's very busy, especially during the summer times. It's a lot of times it's in like touristy kind of places like Disney, for instance. And just huge, massive saltwater fish tanks, and everything changes. They have a huge gift shop with all sorts of clothes and stuffed animals and all sorts of wacky stuff, and everything. And there's all these animatronic like creatures, like
frogs, like frogs
placed on the edges, like elephants and monkeys and stuff like that. And all at once there's like what was it? There'd be a storm that would come by, and then the lights would start flickering, and then all thunder would start going crazy, and then you start hearing like raindrops, and then the lights dim, and then and then you'd see like lightning bolts on the ceiling. It's really pretty cool. It's great for kids. Kids love it.
Yet and, you like it.
The food's good.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, the food's good. You'd think that the food is just like fried crap or something, but it actually is really good.
That sounds fun, man. I think that sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, it's great, and there's a whole bunch of places like that. Another place that's just like it. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It's got to be in a few places, but it's another one. Basically has almost the exact same theme, but it's owned by the same company. It's called T-Rex, and it's like the same kind of thing, the same kind of concept and everything. But it's like you're in the I don't know, like you're in the dinosaur era and there's like dinosaurs everywhere, and it's kind of cool. And there's like different almost like two rooms, but it's all one big room, you know, the whole restaurant.
Right.
But it's like there's different sections. Like one is like an ice cave. You walk in there and it's everything is like made of something that looks like ice, and it's all lit up blue, and then occasionally it turns red for no reason.
This is around you? These restaurants?
No,
okay.
T-Rex is actually near you. It's well kind of near you. It's over in downtown Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, and but the Rainforest Cafe is like all over the place.
Wow. Yeah, there's a place, Mongolian barbecue. Did you ever have the Mongolian barbecue?
No, I never had that.
It's pretty awesome. There's like a buffet. It's a buffet of raw meat, right? They give you a bowl, and you go down this buffet and you pick this raw meat out and you put it in a bowl. And then you bring it over to this Mongolian dude who's standing on this like huge stone grill. It's a circle grill, and he takes your bowl, he throws the meat on there, cooks it, picks it up with a spoon, and slaps it back in your bowl, and then you go sit down and eat it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's pretty awesome.
There's another good one that I like. This is kind of awful to admit. I don't care though. One of them called what the hell? Bubba Gump. It's a whole restaurant themed around the what is it, that movie?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, yeah. Forrest Gump.
I've seen them around. Are they any good?
Very good, actually. I mean, I like it. The food's really pretty good. There's a lot of good food in there, especially if you like seafood and shrimp stuff.
Yeah.
And sorry for the cat noises.
Hey, kitty cat. What a cute cat.
This cat, when she doesn't get attention, she comes running for it.
My cats, when we're done talking, when they hear me stop talking, they come in. They know. I think they are afraid because they see me in here talking to myself because nobody else is here, and they get scared. So they never come by when I'm in the middle of a show. But when I'm done talking, they're like, "Okay, he's sane now," and they come in.
Yeah. So I just like themed restaurants. I like those themed restaurants. I've never really had a completely horrible experience at one of them.
Yeah, I gotta go to more of them. Good tip.
My wife went to the Rainforest Cafe one time, and it was off like season. The food, I don't know if we were just starving, but the food was awesome for some reason to both of us.
Really?
Yeah, I would think if I was crazy, then maybe somebody else wouldn't like it. But she was just like, "Oh, this is like heaven." I'm like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." And then there's some animatronic elephant going next to my head.
That's awesome. What I like is when you're driving down the road and you're getting into traffic or whatever, and a multi-lane road, and somebody just wants to pass you so bad, and they speed around you, only to encounter what you saw the whole time, a red light in front of you. I find it amusing to people who race to the red light. I don't understand it. Like, they got to get around you, or they just go flying, and there's a blatant red light, like, right in front of them, but they have to get there so fast. And then it turns green, and then they speed to the next red light. It's like, it's just not practical. It's bad for your car. It's bad for your brakes. It's bad for your gas mileage. And it's just dumb to me. Like, what do you not look at ahead? Do you look straight into the road when you drive? I don't get it.
I don't get that either. We're parallel thinking, because this is exactly what I had on my list of things. But I have I guess I have the same kind of thought about it, but it's just an overall thing of I'm just so sick of people not leaving, I guess, enough time. I don't know what it is. Maybe why is it people just when they get behind the wheel, they just have to get to their destination fast as humanly possible. Anything gets in the way, they can't handle it for a half a second.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like everything. If you're going 30 miles an hour instead of the 40, then they're like, "Oh!" And it's just like, dude, what's the matter with you? Relax. Just take your time.
I can't agree with you on this. I can't agree with you. I like to get things done, and I really like when I want to get somewhere to go A to B. Now, I don't speed, but if there's a speed limit and it's a one-lane road and you're in front of me and you're going too slow, I get pissed off because you're stopping me from getting something done. And I don't think you have the right to do that to me. That's how I feel. Like, you don't have the right to slow me down. Just be considerate. I would consider it being considerate if he went fast enough that if people were kind of needed to get somewhere, they didn't have to wait for them. It's like if you're walking through a line somewhere and there's only like room for one person to walk by, and then you just stop and everybody else behind you has to wait. It's like it's rude. So I consider it rude to drive too slow on a road where somebody can't pass you. So
I guess it could. Well, I mean, I guess too slow is. Well, I'm thinking not really necessarily too slow because those people just should be thrown off the, just thrown out of their cars. Like I'm not talking about like if it's 30 miles an hour and they're driving 30 right at the speed limit and they're just like woo doo 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 taking their sweet time. That's kind of ridiculous. But
it's just the people that have to fly. I know what you mean. The people have to fly past you or tailgate you and.
Those people. It's just they want to feel like they're getting shot out of a cannon or something. But then on the flip side, the people that drive me crazy are the people. It seems like they're old people that do this. They have to if they have to make a turn, they practically stop in the middle of the street, and then they turn their wheel and then they go.
I don't understand it. It's like their car's gonna tip over if they don't do that. That's the way I picture it. I'm like, what's going through their mind? You're not gonna tip over.
I never thought of it as tipping over. That's really good. Like they're in a rickshaw in India.
Right. Yeah, I'm so with you on that. Yeah, that actually, I don't know why I put it in my like column because I guess I find it amusing, those people. So I still have a don't like, even though that seemed like a don't like. But let's do your don't like first, and then we got to wrap it.
That was you were parallel thinking here.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. I was dealing with it today. I had a guy. What was it? Yeah, okay. It was just this huge truck today as I'm driving along, and he was slowly inching up towards an intersection. It was a construction truck off the road, and it was rush hour, so there's cars flying all over the place, and I decided to turn, and the way I'm turning, I'm like turning like towards him in his direction and passing him, and this guy just felt like he just shouldn't have to stop, but he's a freaking construction vehicle, he's going from off road onto road.
Right.
You watch for us, we don't watch for you.
Right.
And he got upset with me because I passed him, and I'm like since when did you have right of way going from off road to on road? I don't get that.
That's awesome.
But that and just angry lunatics that just have to be there. What is your life that high octane? Do you live that kind of high octane, get it done kind of lifestyle where if you get to your destination 60 seconds earlier, that man you're gonna get more work done? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean. I can't. I'm not fully. My heart is not fully with you on this because I like getting from point A to B fast, but I don't go crazy. I'm not berserk about it.
I berserk people are the ones that I hate.
Okay.
Yeah, I just say put on some good tunes, put your head back, relax, pay attention, and get there.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I mean, if somebody gets in your way, when they stop dead, just like I said, if they stop dead in the middle of the street, and then they decide, okay, I'll turn now.
Right.
And they're making a right-hand turn, those people, they should just be knocked right off the road.
Totally. All right. Yeah. What I don't like is this new UPS commercial where they're saying it's called "That's Logistics," and what's the song? Dun, 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 dun. That's Amore. That's the name of the song. That's Amore. And they replaced that with That's Logistics. And it's this girl with this squeaky whiny voice, and I just want to punch her. And that's what I don't like.
Good for you. Actually, you know what? I could add another don't like because mine was kind of wimpy. You know what? I'm really annoyed, and you've reminded me of it. I'm really annoyed with why is it that why can't I buy Chinese food? I'm sorry, not Chinese food. I'm thinking of something else. Why can't I buy Italian food anywhere, even pizza, which I don't necessarily call Italian food, right? Without hearing Italian music, like even in other language, even Italian, right? Blasting. Like I can eat Italian food without. I mean, I don't hear.
You mean like an Italian
Chinese
restaurant? At an
music.
Italian restaurant, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't hear Chinese music when I'm eating Chinese food. Why do I always like an Italian restaurant can't be an Italian restaurant with 7 speakers blasting, some guy yelling and just go and
I know what you mean. It's like I went to the Macaroni Grill the other day, and it's basically you walk in and they try to mock it up like you're sitting outside in Italy, like the floor's all tile. If they could put a river in there, they would have put like whatever that river is in Italy, and yeah, the music just blasting, And and the waiter had to correct, like, he's always used the correct pronunciation of the food on the menu, and like when I say it, like he would say it the correct way, and I'm like, I want to punch him too. All right.
Oh yeah. That's really aggravating when somebody has to correct you on the pronunciation of a foreign word.
Yeah.
In like with their like accent built into it. And it's like, hey, look, man, the word is the same word. You're just adding an accent.
Right.
To it.
Exactly.
And that's not impressive.
Right. Exactly. All right, man.
That's just a tad bit pretentious.
Just a little bit.
Just a teeny bit.
All right, we're gonna end off this show. This baby's done.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we end off, Steve-O?
Forking it. Yeah, you guys can find me at SMD Steve on Twitter and my site Crappy Crap Crap. Let me know if you guys see anything reviewed heavily that is horrible and terrible, a really horrible product, hotel service, whatever it might be. Really good, funny, bad reviews. That's what I'm looking for out there. I
had one. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna make sure I send it to you. All right, and that's pretty much it. If you want to, what? I can
give an honorable mention to Time Warner Cable. If you look it up on Google Maps, the reviews on Google Maps for Time Warner Cable are absolutely, like, hundreds of them
for New York.
Yeah, in the toilet the reviews, and they're not that funny, but they're bad.
Yeah. Well, that's if somebody did. If I did it, I wouldn't get the same reviews you got. Would I?
I think so. Yeah.
In Google Maps.
Yeah, you have to go up towards near Manhattan and type in Time. I'm pretty sure it's Time Warner Cable.
Okay.
And yeah, it was. Oh man, they're bad.
Really? Put it on. Put them on. Put them on. And
well, I don't know if they're funny. They're just bad. I want funny, and yeah, if you type in all of America, if you type in Time Warner Cable and you hit search maps, oh, actually, it is the top one, I think. Maybe not. North Carolina comes up first.
Okay.
In New York is second, though. You'll find it if you go towards New York. You'll see it on the list. It's got actually, okay. So I was embellishing a little bit. 149 reviews and a solid 1 star.
Nice.
No, you can't leave a review without leaving a star. So.
And if you want to support Podnutz, you done?
No, I'm done.
Okay. If you want to support Podnutz, you can do it easily. If you shop at Newegg or Amazon or eBay, just go to podnutz.com/Amazon, podnutz.com/Newegg, and podnutz.com/eBay. Click on those links. It'll take you right to those sites. If you buy through those links, if you buy something after you go through those links, in other words, you will be actually supporting Podnutz, and it's a piece of cake. You should definitely do it. So definitely do that.
And get your shirts and hats, man. Those things, they're really nice.
Yes, I still got a bunch of hats left, and I have large and extra large shirts. So you go to podnutz.com/clothing. That's the first time I ever saw him wear that hat.
I never wear hats. It feels weird.
And go to podnutz.com/clothing and pick your stuff up there before it's all gone. I mean, this is cool stuff. You don't want to be left out. All right, guys, that's going to be it for Nutz at Night for tonight. We'll see y'all next time.